जीवन बन के बहार आजा, सुन ले पुकार काना, बस एक बार आजा, सुन ले पुकार काना, बस एक बार आजा। बेचैन मन में तुम ही, बेचैन मन में तुम ही, आराम मुरली वाले मुझे चरणों से लगा ले, ओ शाम मुरली वाले मुझे चरणों से लगा ले, ओ शाम मुरली वाले। मेरी सांस सांस में तेरा, मेरी सांस सांस में तेरा है नाम मुरली वाले, मुझे चरणों से लगा ले, ओ शाम मुरली वाले मुझे चरणों से लगा ले, ओ शाम मुरली वाले मुझे चरणों से लगा ले, ओ शाम मुरली वाले।
राम नाम सत्य है, राम नाम, राम नाम सत्य है, राम नाम सत्य है, राम नाम सत्य मैयते तमो प्रतिष्ठितानि पांच तत्व शांति, पांच तत्व शांति, पांच तत्व. What we are witnessing is paying tribute and respect to the five elements that the encased body, that this body is comprised of. Very softly, we are leaving or sending back these five elements to the source. So hence, five stops, five elements. So we move now to the front. Ram Naam Satya Hai. Ram Naam, Ram Naam, Ram Naam. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Rama Ram. पितृ देवता की जय, कृष्ण भगवान की.
Sound check 1 2. Sound check 1 2. Check 1 2 3. Okay, think with sound in there. प्रेम से बोले श्री कृष्ण चंद्र भगवान की जय, अयोध्या पति रामचंद्र की जय. My dear friends, members of the bereaved family, my dear respected elders, friends, well-wishers, Namaste Sitaram. With heavy heart, I extend a warm welcome as we assemble to give our final goodbyes to the late Mr. Ramesh Parmanand, born on the 24th of January 1941 until his sunset on the 9th of September 2024. My dear friends, let us all clasp our hands as we pray to that Almighty Lord, Mahavishnu Bhagwan, God as the sustainer of this universe, as we pray for the welfare of the soul of the departed, the welfare of the family, and for all of us. We pray, O Lord, that you will bless the family with peace, with love, with unity, with strength, and with courage to go through this time of strain and stress. Om Sri Ganeshaya Namah, Sri Saraswati Namah, Sri Guru Charana Kamala Bhyo Namo Namah. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaram, Guru Sakshat Param Brahman, Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. Om Yam Brahma Varunendra Ruta Maruta, Studvanti Divyaistavai, Vedai Sangha Paramopanishadai, Gayantiyam Samagam, Dhyana Vashtita Taragate Namanasang, Pashyantiyam Yogino, Yasyantam Navidu Sura Suragana, Devaya Tasmai Namo Namaham. Om Sasanka Chakra Sakarita Kundalam, Sapita Vasram Sarasera Heshanam, Sahara Vakshastale Kaustubam Shubam, Namami Vishnu Shirisang Chaturdabhujam. Om Sri Vishnave Namaha. Om Hari Om. Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Prem se bolo se Vishnu Bhagavan ki jai. My dear friends, what a very solemn occasion where we assemble to say goodbye to one of our close associates, someone we had loved and shared this lifetime with, a person who has extended himself, and he had given importance to family and relations and friends, and of course he had due respect to life and living. Today, when there is darkness all around, we call upon that Lord. Lord, save us, lead us, take our hands and lead us through this period of darkness by filling our minds with the knowledge and the destruction of, or the removal of, the ignorance. आज अंधेरे में है हम इंसान, ज्ञान का सूरज चमका दे भगवान. Let us raise our voices in praises of the Lord. आज अंधेरे में है हम इंसान, ज्ञान का सूरज चमका दे भगवान. आज अंधेरे में है हम इंसान, ज्ञान का सूरज चमका दे भगवान. दिखा दे, भगवन राह दिखा दे, कदम कदम पर किरण दिखा दे, भगवन किरण दिखा दे, इन अखियों को प्रभु करा दे, इन अखियन को प्रभु करा दे, ज्योति से पहचान, ज्योति से पहचान, आज अंधेरे में है हम इंसान, ज्ञान का सूरज चमका दे भगवान, आ हम तो है संतान तिहारी, प्रभु संतान तिहारी, हम तो है संतान तिहारी, प्रभु संतान तिहारी, तेरी दया पर हम अधिकारी, प्रभु है हम अधिकारी, दुनिया होए सुखी हमारी, दुनिया होवे सुखी हमारी, ऐसा दे वरदान, ऐसा दे वरदान, आज अंधेरे में है हम इंसान, ज्ञान का सूरज चमका दे भगवान, ज्ञान का सूरज, until the sunlight, the sun ray of knowledge would dawn upon us, only then we could understand the true meaning of life and understand what it is to die. My dear friends, in this world we live in, on this planet Earth, where every single thing that is created will be destroyed, including buildings, cars, relationships, and even this body that was created will all die. If we haven't yet, my dear friends, come to that realization, then I welcome you to planet Earth. Everything dies. What it is that separates us from the other day when we were all born? What it is that separates the birth of the late Mr. Ramesh to his passing on the 9th of September? What is it in between there? Suno re bhai samay bhaira balwan. Time. Time exists between birth and death. My dear friends, what are we doing with this time in our hands? What are we doing? Are we busy just flitting away these seconds and these minutes? Or are we using it to make our relationship stronger? To do the work that God has sent us here to do? And my dear friends, let us make no mistake that God has sent us specially to do certain things, to do God's bidding, as we say, to come on earth and exist and perform certain feat in the name of God. My dear friends, when we have realized and we have accomplished our mission, like our late Mr. Ramesh, we will all have to say goodbye. His role in this lifetime ended on the 9th of September, ending a legacy that we could all become, that all becomes a memory now on his path. I must say we had some very wonderful moments, the late Uncle Ramesh and I, talking and chatting away on the phone, sometimes for an hour and a half, which is not a very short time. Having related to me his life story, indeed, I could only conclude and say that he was a great person and came here to perform certain great acts in his life. Foremost, and from my perspective, foremost in my thoughts and my ideas, he cherished his family. We might want to disagree with me a little bit, but I know from his utterances, from his speech and our conversation, he cherished every moment of his family life, especially his mother. And when he mentioned his mother, he would cry over the phone. Like that memory is still fresh in his heart and mind. And he would often say that he started off with nothing. Nothing. And sadly today, he is ending with nothing. Not even the two shiny Cressida motor cars that Uncle Tallboy and Small Boy and Sukhdev were the only people he trusted with those two cars. And by Sukhdev was in the back there. The electrician, mechanic, he also mentioned the air-conditioned guy, but I can't remember. Maybe because all the above was related to me in some way or the other. And he would tell me of these days of his life. And I say to myself, what a great person. What a big contribution he has made. As we might think, my dear friends, life may not be what we make it or what we think it will turn out to be. But we are only the actors. God is the director. And we are playing all these parts. Sometimes good, sometimes not good. But my dear friends, we will all meet a world where if there is happiness, there will be sadness. If there is good relation, there will be not so good relations. If we have coming, there will be leaving. If we have white, we will have black. If we have daylight, we will also have night. And of course, if we have birth, we will have death. This is what life is, my dear friends. Knowing that we will cease to exist, that we will all die, my dear friends. We shout out sometimes, what kind of world is this? If we think here, my dear friends, if we think we are here forever, this morning, I want you to think again. We are not here forever. And we didn't bring one grain of sand here. Neither we will leave with one grain of sand. So, my dear friends, what it is are we chasing after? What it is that we call a good life? What it is? It is those moments that we share that touch our hearts. The love that we share. And the good experiences that we all enjoy together. That's all. That's all left of it. The legacy of Mr. Parmanand is there for us to only remember. Nothing more. In this world, some are crying, some laughing. Some having good time, not so good time. Some enjoying good health, some not enjoying health at all. Some with financially enjoying, some very poor. What kind of world is this? Koi roe, koi gaye, keita tera sansar, O Malik, kaisa tera sansar. Sansar means this world, this life and living. What kind of world is this you have sent me in here, Lord? कोई समझ नहीं पाए तेरा कारोबार ओ मालिक कैसा तेरा संसार ओ कोई समझ नहीं पाए तेरा कारोबार ओ मालिक कैसा तेरा संसार उजड़ जाए जब रैन बसेराम पंछी सिर धुन रोए कोई न जाने दर्द किसी का सब मतलब में कोई अंबर नीर बहाए धरती करे पुकार ओ मालिक कैता तेरा संसार ओ कोई समझ नहीं पाए तेरा कारोबार ओ मालिक कैसा तेरा संसार ओ मालिक कैसा तेरा संसार What kind of world is this, Lord? The slightest moment that this soul gets a chance to leave this body, it will leave. That's the science. Medical practitioners, what they do? They help to stop that process to a certain point. The slightest moment, the soul is ready to leave because we think we are happy here. We think we are very happy. But the soul is weeping and crying. Why? Because it's yearning to go back to its maker, God. And that is a journey that all of our souls will have to make. Either we like it or not, it's a matter of time before it happens. Until such time, Aaya bhi akela, Jaya bhi akela. We are coming here alone and we will leave and we will come back. We have done this so many times, my dear friends. Why prolong this process? Why can't we break the cycle of Punanapi Maranam, Punanapi Jananam, Jatare Sayanam? To break the cycle of birth, sickness, old age, and death. The time to do it is now. My dear friends, let us not be carried away by the little things, by the broken relationships and all of that. And by the things that we have forgotten to do. All that's trivial. Once we have the breath and we have the time, now is the time. It's quite okay. We all can't think the same. We all can't make the same decision. We have to reach to the level when we learn to we agree to disagree and still be friends. In our society, my dear friends, we need to build that fabric. However, sad to say, in this society, as soon as we disagree with others, we take it personal and we pick up our marbles and we go home. We have broken up all relationship, thinking that we will not meet again. My dear friends, we have all met here millions of times before, and we will meet here millions of times again. So why are we harboring all the ill wills? Why we are stressing ourselves over winning the lottery and the lotto that I don't think anybody win last night or whatever? Why are we stressing ourselves? It doesn't worth it. It doesn't worth it, believe you me. You know? It doesn't worth it. So, why are we breaking down the bridges that we will have to cross? You know something? If we leave this lifetime and we have unfinished business, unsolved problems and difficulties, we didn't solve them. Guess what? According to Garud Mahapuran, the next time we come back, we're coming back again to fix those things that we didn't do. Because the job was left incompleted. Complete the job. My dear friends, you notice we were spraying the essence, and if we ask here, why we spray the essence? They said, well, in case Mr. Parmanand come back, we go smell him. Oh yeah? Then we should have used Millionaire or Sasha or one of those expensive ones. Therefore, that's not the reason for that. The sweet smell is to bring out the essence of goodness from our hearts. But it cannot happen when we die. That's only a symbol. Whilst we are alive, my dear friends, bring out the goodness of our hearts. Suppress the negative and bring out the goodness for each one of us. Sabki hai bhai bhai. All of us are brothers and sisters together. Bhagwan, ek pita. He is our Father. So my dear friends, today we are reminded, in your pamphlet, there's a lovely verse from chapter 2 in Bhagavad Gita, that the soul never takes birth and will never die. So therefore, the soul continues to exist. So today we are only saying goodbye to the physical form. Dirt, water, space, air, and the fire element, which is the minimal in this body. We are saying goodbyes to these five, not to the soul. The soul will continue to exist. Nor does it come into being again when the body is created. The soul is birthless, it's eternal, it's imperishable. So if we go to the science of death and so on, and the soul travel, that will be spoken about for the shaving and the bandara ceremonies of the travel of the soul. But for now, my dear friends, lying here is the remains of what Mr. Parmanand used to be, Mr. Ramesh Parmanand. The soul continued to exist together with the fun memories and all the good times and not so good times we share. That will now lodge in our hearts and our minds. But the body will return to its source, the five elements, while the soul has a chance to meet its maker. Until such time, my dear friends, we will pray for the welfare of that soul. Prem se bol se Aryama Pitra Devata ki jai. So my dear friends, let me now invite to the rostrum, to the podium, by Avinash, who has put together a small eulogy that he will now render for us. Following which, those of us who might want to bring greetings to the family, if someone who would like to make a little contribution, okay, we will entertain that after our eulogy. Avinash is the son-in-law, one of the son-in-laws of this family, and we'll now join him with the eulogy.
Thank you, Pundit. Sitaram, and good morning, everyone. Sorry we all had to meet under these circumstances. Today I'll be reading a eulogy written by his daughter, Neisha. So I'm reading it as she wrote it. There is no good way to start this, but there are several great ways to finish this for Ramesh Parmanand. He was a great man. At least to me, he was my dad. There are so many things I could talk about that we could be here for the rest of the day into tomorrow. But I would like to talk about him being my dad. From an early age, I was literally his riding partner. Dad was an entrepreneur and a contractor in Wassa, with mom working and daycare not really being an option. In those days, my office was in the back seat of PAS 3556. Where he went, I went for years. We used to sing along to Kanchan and Babal songs. He taught me that your education and your smarts are some of the few really bargaining chips that you have in this world. He spared no expense when it came to my education. As much as I excelled in school, if I wanted extra lessons, he would get that for me. Dad had a quick wit and a mischievousness about him. Trying to win an argument with him was an uphill battle. Family outings and get-togethers would be somehow end up with a prank being performed on his brothers or nephews. One time when buying school books, he made a joke with the sales clerk that these books too expensive. Anybody want a little girl to buy? Let's say I was not impressed and screamed bloody murder all the way home. I then told Bobby about him. I think I got ice cream and cake that day. I'm not sure. Dad had a sense of adventure about him. He can make friends anywhere he goes. He told me stories about him ending up in Barbados without a passport and somehow ending back up without any issues. I remember Dad going hunting and fishing trips, even though he was a vegetarian. I personally remember a story where he said he went fishing. Everything was good, the water was like glass, and then all of a sudden the weather changed. And he sat there and he asked himself, what are you doing here? I do eat fish. But it's just like with the boys. You know, and every time you talk to Dad, he'll hear a story about his brother, his Uncle Boyo. And the stories always teach us something about life. Simple acts of kindness goes a long way. It happened in the hospital as well when Dad was admitted about a week ago. And it's all about how you communicate with people and work with people to get things done. And for that reason, I was able to see the care that these nurses and doctors put on Dad. And I'd like to say thank you to them. I'd also like to say thank you to everyone here who contributed in some form or fashion, whether it's attended the week, well wishes. I thank you all for that. Dad was such a strong swimmer. On beach outings, he would get lost in the sea, causing my mom to panic a bit. Learning to drive with him was another thing, though. At that point, I didn't want to drive again, but learned all the right things on him. Only recently to learn that I'm the only person that he actually trusted to drive him out, me and Neisha. That is Neisha's short eulogy. I will speak on my behalf. I never saw him as a father-in-law. Thought of him as my father. The lessons taught, the guidance, especially when we were building our home, was instrumental in us being successful in that building. And he would always guide us, and he was very adventurous. Even the 1 o'clock calls where he fell ill, and those turned out to be adventures. 2-3 hours after, he'd be like, I'm feeling good now, you know. But still, Dad, we had to carry by the doctor. Dad has taught me a lot, and we need to take away something. Simple acts of kindness. No one could have ever said that they'd gone to the gate of number 16 Gulfview Villas and asked for something borrowed and never got it. Whether it be a car part, a tool, something, a welding plant, Dad always there to lend a helping hand. He had his crew to go and get parts for him, Peter, Bobby, a few others who come and take up the Crusaders and carry to fix and come back. And I'm grateful to you all for relieving that stress from him. To my mother, my family, I'd like to say thank you for all the assistance you have given us. To the Parmanand family, thank you all for attending. Your attendance here has made it a good one. Sanjay, Sajivan, Kiva, Mr. Rampasad, thank you all for assisting with the rites. Earlier this year, we made a trip to Maracas because he wanted to go. He was like, feeling to go Maracas. But you know, we thinking his health and the distance and so on, and for some reason that day, he was well. He didn't have an issue with the drive or anything, and he sat on the beach, laid back, looking at the ocean for the entire day. Only to the end where he wanted to actually go into the water. I was like, Dad, if you go in that water, you might feel a little bit dizzy, you know. Eyes are fish, don't worry about me. By the time we enter about close to knee height, he's like, hey, I started to feel dizzy. I said, don't worry, I'll hold it there, don't worry. Took the water and I passed it on his head. Dad, I want you to know that I have loved you. If you ever had any issues, quarrels, or anything like that, and I am there for Neisha and Mom. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Avinash, for giving us a taking us a little bit down memory lane when it concerns Mr. Parmanand. You know, I can tell you a little bit of the kind of serious person he was. I was home one day and the phone rang, but I didn't answer. I was talking to somebody, and we were discussing about in the temple we need some mangoes to make mango takari for our yagya. So we're thinking, where are we going to get a mango? I think that was 2 years ago, yeah. Where are we going to get this mango? And the phone rang again. So I said, let me answer this. And Mr. Parmanand, Sitaram Pundit, you want mangoes? It's like, I had to press my jaw to close my mouth. He said, so I said, yeah, you have? He said, we have 4 or 5 trees then it laden and the mango wasting, and I hate to see food being thrown away. So I said, yeah, I think my temple might need some. He said, here what? I will get 2 bags for you. Ooh, we hit a gold mine there. So I said, how am I going to get it? He said, you don't worry, I'm going to get somebody, they're going to pick it for you and fill it in 2 bags. Come home for it. So I said, where you living? Most of the time we're talking on phone. He said, I live in Gulf City. Come behind Gulf City, take a left and take a left. And he was see me there. Well, when I turn in, I check one left and the next left and gone in the other street. The rain was falling and Mr. Parmanand, when I make the wrongs, I come back down. I see him sitting there. He said, where you going, boy? So I said, Sitaram. He said, tell you take a left and take a left. I see when you're going up the road and you come back. You can't drive or what? We had fun. And although he was ailing, he wanted to help me lift that mango and put it in the car. I said, no. No. So we did it, and then when I reach home, he called to find out if I reach home safe and when I'm going to cut it. He said, don't throw away my mango, You know. So sometimes God works in miraculous ways. And I could tell you the heart full of joy was Mr. Parmanand, a person who loves to help. So for many friends, I know we are working with a time frame here. So let me now encourage or ask for those of us who might want to bring greetings or want to say a couple words of comforting words to the family. Please, you're free to come forward and bring your greetings. So we'll limit it to about 2 minutes. Yeah.
Pleasant good morning to everyone. We are here to pay tribute to Ramesh Parmanand, better known as Lal to many of us. Our relationship spans a period of close to 40 years. And during that time, I have come to the knowledge that he has been a man of many hats: taxi driver, market vendor, transport contractor, equipment rental provider, and even civil engineer, having supervised the construction of 2 houses, one at Gullview and the other at St. Cross. We are here to remember a truly remarkable person whose presence enriched our lives in countless ways. His laughter, his wisdom, and kindness will leave an indelible mark on everyone who knew him, his friends, family, and even casual acquaintances. I know that he had a deep caring for his parents, his siblings, and his immediate family. The Pundit spoke about that a little bit. So much so that he would put aside his personal commitments to address any matter that arose among them. He placed family before himself. And I'm sure that there are many here who can testify to that. He has never been someone who would shy away from expressing his opinion. and offering advice when he felt it was required. Sadly, he has moved on to the other world, and we must treasure the good memories that we share of him. His legacy will live on in our hearts and in our actions. Let us remember Lal not just for his achievements, but for the love and joy he brought into our lives. As this chapter closes, it is not goodbye, but see you later. Hindu philosophy tells us that the soul is eternal, and therefore it never dies. It moves on to the world of peace when it departs from the physical world and resides there until the time has come to take rebirth. Who knows? We might see him again to renew our acquaintances. This is something we can look forward to. In closing, let me thank you all for being here today and for the love and support you gracefully provided over the last few days. Thank you. That was my 2 minutes.
A pleasant good morning to everyone. I have known Ramesh Parmanand for close to 32 years. From the day I walked into Gulfview Villas, he's always outside. I just want to say that for all that time I have known him, most nights he would be sitting with Rose outside. And we always had long conversations. I want to say a special thank you to him because he kept my husband company when both of them were home alone. That is on my behalf. On behalf of the people of Gulfview Villas, I would like to say a special thank you for him. He was like a father to all. And let me just say, personally, I have heard him talk about his family. As far as I could remember, he said that he was like a dad to his siblings because his father died when they were young. And he would talk about his brothers and his sisters. I even had the opportunity to meet some of them, going with him to St. Princestown. Mr. Parmanand was a kind gentleman. And he always had a sense of humor. Sometimes it's a little morbid, but he had this sense of humor that he would say things to people. You have to take it nicely. If you know Mr. Parmanand, you would understand that anyone who would come to his door would not leave empty-handed. The people of Gulfview would tell you that for Diwali, the amount of food and the amount of parsa that I would eat, and you would say to me, I have rice for you, I know you don't want the thing, and you want the hole in it to put the curry, because that was my favorite. But I'm standing here and I want to tell each and every one of you, not just about Parmanand's life and how much he cared about his family, but I want to tell you about his wife. I want to tell you about Rose. For those who do not know, I live right 2 apartments away from them, and I could see over there. Throughout my life, I have seen, living there, I have seen the effort and the love and the caring that was between 2 people. I don't know, there was not time when I wouldn't see the 2 of them together. It doesn't matter if she's going to work. It doesn't matter if she's going to the grocery or the market. Mr. Parmanand is always there with the newspaper, sitting if even he can't come out of the car. he would wait for her. And at nights, you know, I would pass sometimes and he'd say, "You finished work, girl?" I say, "Yes," sit down and chat a little bit. And then it was time to go and make the roti because there's a time for that. And let me just say, if you want to see devotion and caring, that is what Rose and Parmanand had for each other. I know he would leave her with great memories. And I stand here and I want to say that it is family now that keep the good memories. Be one, be happy. And that is what he would have liked most of all. So, from the people of Gulfview and people who know him, we say thank you for having met a gentleman, a caring soul. And you were right to say that anything that you wanted Parmanand had in terms of tools, you just have to go and ask. He got his stove busted at time, taking down a ladder for someone. But he was always there for anybody, and he always had a word of advice. So to Neisha, whilst it would be an unhappy occasion, please remember that he loved you. To his daughter, I want to say he also loved you, and to his son. And to his brothers, I can tell you that he cared about you and his sisters as well. So remember him in your prayers and remember the good times, because he wouldn't want you to remember anything that is bad. I will miss him personally. When I walk every morning, "You finish work, girl?" Nobody to talk to as I go back home. And today he probably laughing with Roman in heaven that both of them are there and they're discussing all the things that they used to discuss, which I wouldn't go into. So I will say a final farewell to his body, and his soul will live forever. Thank you.
Good morning, Sitaram, everybody. I am Sanjay, one of his nephews that grew up in Princestown, along with Sajivan here, my brother. We grew up very close to Uncle Sonilal, we'll call him, because I didn't know his name was Ramesh until I was like 10, right? So we grew up very close with him. He was like a father figure to us, giving us daily buffs, we could call it, because we were very, very wicked. We shared some very fun memories together, very, very fun memories. I can share one of those with you guys. Uncle would have left stuff in his room upstairs all the time. And he left a razor. And I remember Uncle coming and asking me, where did I move his razor? I said, "Uncle, I didn't move your razor." He said, "Yes, you moved my razor." I said, "I didn't move your razor." He said, "Yes, you moved my razor." I said, "No, Uncle, I moved your razor." He said, "Well, you tell me where your eyebrow went." Right? The man was smart, right? So we had so many fun times together, so many stories he would tell us about the past, all the siblings growing up playing Can High Road. One of the things we would always hear about is from back in the days when they would have to, tend to animals and so on, the kind of house they had. And you heard the stories on how they progressed throughout life. Now, I'm going to tell a story that he didn't tell me. It was told to me by somebody that's not here today to share the story, but the person always told me the story. When everyone was going to school, Uncle got sick and couldn't continue through school. He stopped school because he couldn't continue, and he would help in the garden, work, toil every day hard in the garden, and then go out on the road to sell and go to the market and sell to ensure that his siblings were able to get the best education they can get. And I can say that coming out of that, all of us benefited from that, right? The generations come down, we all benefited, and I just want to say, Uncle, thanks. And that story was told to me by my grandmother. So I know she was very proud, And I want to say thanks on her behalf for helping the family to reach where it is today. Thanks.
Morning, everyone. My name is Peter. I've known Mr. Parmanand for, well, I'm doing the scene maybe just a little over 10, going on to 12 years or something. Two things stood out for me with him. Yes, as the lady before said, he always has some kind of tools to lend and assist. But another thing that stood out for me was he always had good advice. So he was somebody who advised me along the way on a lot of things that really made a difference in my life. So, with that being said, Mr. Parmanand, I appreciate you. And my condolences to the family. Thank you.
Thank you all kindly for all those wonderful sentiments. And we can go on and on by underscoring all the great things he did in his lifetime and that influenced our lives, that we are happy that we met such a great person. But my dear friends, amongst all the other story, I just want to tell you something that would highlight the greatness of this man. He told me when, you say, Pundit, I celebrated his birth, I think it was his 80th birthday or something, and he had a prayer and all of that. He said, and after that, he went and looked for all the people that worked for him. And he made an envelope with X amount of thousands, or hundreds, as you might say. And he gave them a token of his appreciation and said, thank you. And he said, there were a couple of them who had died, he looked for their wives or their children, and he gave them that envelope with that amount of money for in the name of the parents for their hard work and the service that they did for him. And to me, my dear friends, including myself, if I had to ask a silly question, how many of us have done that for our workers, or our friends, or our family? Not even I would be able to raise my hand. You will, no matter how great persons might be, but someone thinking like that, it means we have lost a good soul, a good person. And to me, that story will remain in my mind. And I will ask persons, persons who have workers, if when is their birthday, would you give them an extra envelope and tell them thank you? I think that would be a hard one to digest for some persons, but Mr. Parmanand did it. And for that, I have to say he belongs to the rank of the good men. So I want to thank all of you for your contribution. Now we would prepare to do the final part. So let us all stand as we offer this prayer. And we thank God for the moment, and we thank God for the life and the times of our late brother, father, friend, Mr. Parmanand. Om Namo Paramatmane Namaha. Om Anadhani Danau Deva Shankha Chakra Garadhara Akshay Pundari Kaksham Preta Moksha Prado Bhavat. May the soul find final beatitude. Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhuscha Saka Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Devang Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Devang Hari Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Umapati Mahadeva ki jai, Aryama Pitra Devata ki jai, Sri Krishna Chandra Bhagavan ki jai. Thank you all my dear devotees. Those who would like to come and pay their final respects and final viewing, please will do so. And in 5 minutes we'll move to the other section where we will conclude the rites. On behalf of the family, and of course, on behalf of the extended family, I want to say thank you all very much. I am your humble servant, Pundit Mitra, Mohansingh, thanking you all for being here today. Please take your seats. Changing the program, we will move down to the back and you all can just move that way because we're going to pass it. Chitya Namaha Swaha, Om Lohitaya Namaha Swaha, Om Edabhyaya Swaha, Om Asibhya Namaha Swaha, Om Sanyasibhya Namaha Swaha, Om Shubhaya Namaha Swaha, Om Madhyamaya Namaha Swaha, Om Tapse Namaha Swaha, Om Vayu Namaha Swaha, Om Pasaya Namaha Swaha, Om Rajasaya Namaha Swaha, Om Sanjasaya Namaha Swaha, Om Vipasaya Namaha Swaha, Om Bhausaya Namaha Swaha, Om Suchi Namaha Swaha, Om Sejita Namaha Swaha, Om Suchaman Namaha Swaha, Om Shokaya Namaha Swaha, Om Tapti Namaha Swaha, Om Tapyamanaya Namaha Swaha, Om Taptaya Namaha Swaha, Om Dharmaya Namaha Swaha, Om Shikhyaya Namaha Swaha, Om Prayachitaya Namaha Swaha, Om Bhasyaya Namaha Swaha, Om Yamyaya Namaha Swaha, Om Amtataya Namaha Swaha, Om Ritave Namaha Swaha, Om Shibrahmane Namaha Swaha, Om Vishwavyo Devivyo Namaha Swaha. Om Bhurvasvah Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat Vyo Namaha Swaha. Om Kravaja Agni Namaha. Om Kravaja Agni Namaha. Om Namo Paramatmane Namaha. Om Ajamukha Buddha Sasanak Nama Preta Asya Chitra Buddha Devata Chitra Pidna Mayate Tapo Pratishtadam. Om Ajamukha Buddha Sasanak Nama Mayate Tapo Pratishtadam.
शान्ताकारं भुजगशयनं पद्मनाभं सुरेशं विश्वाधारं गगनसदृशं मेघवर्णं शुभांगं लक्ष्मीकान्तं कमलनयनं योगिभिर्जानुगम्यं वन्दे विष्णुभवभयहरणं सर्वलोकैकनाथं हरि ओम शांति 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 हरि ओम। प्रेम से श्री कृष्ण चंद्र भगवान की जय। अर्यमा पितृ देवता की जय। हर 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 महादेव।
जाए भी अकेला, 2 दिन की जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेला।
आए भी अकेला, जाए भी अकेला, 2 दिन की जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेला।
आए भी अकेला, जाए भी अकेला, 2 दिन की जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेला।
आए भी अकेला, जाए भी अकेला, 2 दिन की जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेला।
जिनके लिए तूने महल सजाए, मतलब का यार सारे सभी है पराए।
जिनके लिए तूने महल सजाए, मतलब का यार सारे सभी है पराए।
इनके लिए है कितना, इनके लिए है कितना तूने दुख झेला।
2 दिन की जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेला। आए भी अकेला, जाए भी अकेला, 2 दिन की जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेला।
काहे तू आया जग में, क्या तुझको करना, नेकी करम कर ले दुनिया से डरना।
काहे तू आया जग में, क्या तुझको करना, नेकी करम कर ले दुनिया से डरना।
पाप की अगिन में खुद को, पाप की अगिन में खुद को काहे को ढकेला।
2 दिन की जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेला। आए भी अकेला, जाए भी अकेला, 2 दिन की जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेला।
और की शरण तू हो जा ध्यान लगाए, जीवन मिले ना फिर ये जीवन को पाले।
हरि की शरण तो हो जा ध्यान लगा ले, जीवन मिले न फिर ये जीवन को पाले।
खेल जगत का सारा, खेल जगत का सारा उसी ने है खेला।
2 दिन की जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेला, आए भी अकेला, जाए भी अकेला। 2 दिन की जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेला, 2 दिन की जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेला, 2 दिन की जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेला।
पिंजरे के पंछी रे, तेरा दर्द न जाने कोई, तेरा दर्द न जाने कोई। पिंजरे के पंछी रे, तेरा दर्द न जाने कोई, तेरा दर्द न जाने कोई। बाहर से तू खामोश रहे दो, बाहर से तू खामोश रहे दो। भीतर भीतर रोई रे, भीतर भीतर रोए, तेरा दर्द न जाने कोई, तेरा दर्द न जाने कोई। पिंजरे के पंछी रे, कह न सके तू अपनी कहानी, तेरी भी पंछी क्या जिंदगानी रे। कह न सके तू अपनी कहानी, तेरी भी पंछी क्या जिंदगानी रे। विधि न तेरी कथा लिखी, आंसू में कलम डुबोए, तेरा दर्द न जाने कोई, तेरा दर्द न जाने कोई। पिंजरे के पंछी रे, तेरा दर्द न जाने कोई, तेरा दर्द न जाने कोई। पिंजरे के पंछी रे, चुप के रोने वाले रखना छिपा के दिल की छाले रे। चुप के रोने